So we're going to go into the prime directives of the unconscious mind. So these are things that are hardwired, what your unconscious mind will do. So it's hardwired to do this. Yeah, so you're born like this, and this is what it's going to do. So the first thing is it's going to store memories. Now your brain has a holographic memory. In other words, it stores every single thing in minute details. Yeah, so in minute details, and what it does is it organizes your memories. Like I said before, just go back there. Let me just do this. So it's going to organize your memories, and what it does is it saves up similar experiences. So if you had a lot of things that happened, like say sadness, then your unconscious mind is going to organize your memories according to sad events, and then it will organize according to happy events, and then it will organize things that fear. So it'll organize all of your memories as well, and holographically, which means that it just stores every single thing that you do in your life in minute detail, and you can go and access everything that you have in minute detail by going into certain states, certain altered states. It represses your memories. So it represses memories with unresolved negative emotions. So if something really bad happens, what it will do is it will decide that, right, listen, I'm just going to repress this so you can't get to it. And it does this as protection. Now what it does is, when you let's say that you are now in a good position, so you're doing well with yourself, what your unconscious mind will do is it will essentially say, okay, you're doing really well at the minute, so let's try and deal with this, bam, and then it will throw something really bad in front of you, and it's really upsetting to you. It'll throw that wham in your face because it thinks at the time you can deal with it. That's its job as well, because it needs to deal with the unresolved negative emotions. It wants to resolve those because it doesn't want to store those because it causes harm to the body. Yeah. So that's why the reason why, if you're doing well, so say if an incident happens, you start dealing with it, and then the next thing you know, you're doing fine, and then the next thing you know, bam, it just throws something there for you to deal with. That's the reason why it does it, because it thinks at the time, right, okay, I think you can deal with this now, and it throws it back in your face for you to resolve it. And that's what you sort of need to be careful of. But the best way to do that is, again, the timeline techniques, is to go there and deliberately go and like deal with these negative emotions and unresolved negative emotions, and allow your unconscious mind, tell it to deal with it, tell it to learn what it needs to learn, and let go of the negative emotions and take all the learnings instead. Your unconscious mind runs the body. Yeah, it has a blueprint for your perfect health. Yeah, just think about it this way: your body, it's about, I think, isn't it 97%? You have a new body each year. Yeah, your body's consistently growing new cells, and it changes, and 90% of your body is different next year. So each year. So how does your body like keep growing it so that you are you? Yeah, so it has a perfect blueprint of you and your perfect health. Now, one of the other things as well the body does is it preserves the body. So the unconscious mind is there to preserve the body. It's integrity. So it's there for protection. It'll protect it. And sometimes it gets things, when it comes to releasing negative emotions, sometimes it has an idea that like keeping a negative emotion is actually going to protect the body, and it's not the case. It's the learnings that are going to protect the body. Negative emotions harm the body, and I'll explain this a bit more later. So the unconscious mind, it enjoys serving, but it needs clear orders. It does not process negatives directly. If I said to you right now, do not think of a red car, that is not a clear order for it, because it's actually you have to think of a red car. Yeah, it puts it into your head. You was not thinking about that until I told you. not to think about it. But the unconscious mind doesn't process negatives like that. You have to tell it what to do or what to focus on, not what. If this is why this is what people get a lot of when they set goals. I want to lose weight, but now you have to think about how fat you are. Yeah. So that is not a very good instruction for the unconscious mind to follow. That's why people get in so much trouble when it comes to goal setting. Or I do not want to be poor. But now you have to think about how poor you are. Yeah. And the funny thing is, whatever picture you're focusing on most of the time that's the direction that you are going to go in. That's the law of attraction. That's what's coming to you. If you focus a lot on what you're scared of, then that's coming to you. Yeah, because you're essentially telling your unconscious mind to actually do that. It doesn't, as I said, it doesn't distinguish between good and bad. It just does what you tell it to. And if you need to know how to tell it to do things so you get results that you really want to get to. So that is why you need to work out what you want to tell the unconscious mind to do, what you desire. You need to have a picture. And one of the things that a lot of people do is they have vision boards, because your unconscious mind works in symbols as well. If it sees symbols or things that makes it feel good, and if you're constantly visualizing or focused on things that you want, then that's what it's going to go after. Yeah. It needs something again to go after. It's more pictures and images are going to be more. It's going to go after those easier than words. Yeah, you have to have a picture in your head of what you want. You have to have the desire. You have to have specifically what it is, what clarity of picture in your head. Yep. The reason why people write down their goals in a certain way is so when they look at that goal, a picture comes in their head, because that is what the unconscious mind is going to go and get. If you do that every day, if you write down the words in a certain way, so you come up with a clear picture of what you want, then your unconscious mind is going to go and seek it out. Yeah. But if you're focusing on things that you don't want, or if you put yourself in environments where you don't want, or if you're doing things like watching the news all the time with negativity coming into your head all the time, then your unconscious mind you start behaving like that. And remember what I said before, environment is key. If you start surrounding yourself with negative people, guess what's going to happen? You are going to turn negative. Yeah, unconsciously. You may not consciously do it, but unconsciously you're gonna take those behaviors. Now, the unconscious mind needs repetition until a habit is formed. Now, I've said this before as well. When it comes to things like therapy, when they keep telling you to go through your emotions or keep accessing your emotions, what do you think is going to happen if I keep doing that? What's going to happen? I form a habit of doing it. Yeah. This is one thing that I think that when it comes to looking at the modality of therapy, when they keep telling you to talk about your problems, this is the one thing that it can cause a lot of harm to people. Yeah, it's gonna cause a lot of harm. You do anything over and over again, you get better at it. Every study shows that. Yeah, that's how it works. If I'm kicking if I play football a lot, I get better at football. If I play tennis a lot, or a specific skill in tennis, I get better at it. If I practice presenting, I get better at it. If I practice juggling, I get better at it. If I practice going into sadness states, or if I practice going into fear, or if I practice going into guilt, I get better at it. It's as simple as that. So if you need to, like I just said, focus on what you want. Focus on what you want and practice what you want. Do not practice what you don't want. Yep, so practice, but what you want. Yeah, you need to have that clear in your head. You do not need to be doing things like when you talk about your problems over and over and over again, because guess what? The past is over. The event's over, so why are you going through? Yes, you need to get a clear thing of what you're dealing with. That's fine. That's okay. But if you keep going, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? If you're going and doing that, then like at the time when I was doing that, I was feeling bad because I had that happen to me. I had that done to me because when I was doing some of the courses, I was like, I'm not feeling good from this. I'm feeling quite awful. So I don't want to keep experiencing that. But again, that's one of the things you need to understand. You practice what you want. Yeah, until the habit is formed. The unconscious mind will do that. Once a habit is formed, it does it automatically. This is why people will struggle with negative automatic thoughts, because they've been doing it over and 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 over again until they've got a habit. And then you have to break that pattern. The unconscious mind works on the principle of least effort. This one of the things is when you take a drug, for example. This is another thing. When you're taking a drug, let's say an antidepressant, what that's going to do is that's going to make your body have good feelings. Yeah, so it's going to have it. This is why it's good in the short term. Yeah, in the short term, fine. But when you're having a long-term stuff that's making your body feel good, your body's going to go, do you know what? I don't really need to expend energy feeling good anymore, because this person, they're putting a drug in me, which means that I'm feeling good anyway from that drug. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop producing that. Yeah. So then what happens is, because the body stopped producing that, all of a sudden your tolerance to the drug goes down, because it's not, your body's not helping you anymore. It's not. Why should it give you more good feeling chemicals in your body when you've got a drug doing it? It takes it away. It says, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need to waste energy on that. I want to save all the energy I can, because that's the way the unconscious mind is programmed. Yeah. So then what happens is you stop taking the drug, don't you? Because you go, right, let's come off the drug now. And the problem is there's a lag time. There's a lag time. And you stop taking the drug, you're going to feel awful, because you're going to feel absolutely terrible when you come off that drug, because your body has stopped producing feel-good chemicals. Yeah, it stopped producing them, and again, it's going to be a couple of weeks before it starts going, oh damn it, I better start putting that back in again. That's the reason why people feel so bad when they come off antidepressants. Yeah, because your unconscious mind is, especially if you're on long term, then it's going to stop. It's going to stop doing that. It's the same with sleeping tablets. If you have a sleeping tablet for like a long period of time, your body's going to stop producing the chemicals to make you feel tired, because it says, do you know what? I'm going to save energy. I'm not going to produce that anymore, because they're putting that in my system anyway. I don't need it anymore. Yeah, that's why people, as soon as they come off the sleeping tablets, they can't sleep. So you need to be careful around things like that, drugs and that. And that's why your body as well, when you're training and you stop training, then your body's going to go, I don't need to like produce or build up my muscles anymore, because like they've stopped training, so I don't need to do it. That's why you need to keep doing regular exercise to help your heart and everything keep going, because your body will stop doing it. It works on the principle of least effort. If it doesn't have to do it, it won't. So you have to demand of your body what you want from it.